Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon Jaber HD, and today we have week 6 of the Hive Kakuna against Joel and I believe it's Florida Squirtle Squad, and this is, unfortunately we're now 2 and 3. We are still +5, so obviously every loss has been pretty close, but the wins have been pretty high up, so it doesn't mean we're out of the playoff hunt, but we do really need wins badly. Like, we can't just keep losing, which this is unfortunate because actually this matchup is against what many believe is actually the best team roster-wise. Well, Joel is, I think, 3 and 2 at this point. He is +8, so that's solid differential, and very threatening team with Z Tapu Koko, Shaman, Diggersby, Suicune, Mega Beedrill, Hawlucha, Z Steelix, Uxie, Z Tyrantrum, Z Persian Alola, and Z Raichu Alola. Well, our team is still unchanged, being the Mega Kangaskhan, Keldeo, Sylveon, Z Metagross, Gliscor, Z Salazzle, Serena, Z Aerodactyl, Z Kyurem, Umbreon, and Lantern. And looking at this matchup, obviously the electric terrain, core of Tapu Koko plus Alolan Raichu are definitely big threats that I have to be prepared for. And then Mega Beedrill is solid against a good chunk of my team, especially the 6 I brought. I didn't like Gliscor is the best answer to Mega Beedrill on my team, at least defensively, and that's not coming, so I know going into this it's going to be difficult because I think that at least for the rest of the team, Gliscor is not that useful. So I don't think it's necessarily going to beat me, initially, but it could very well just break my defense immediately, or if I'm not careful enough, just sweep me in the end, being naturally faster than everything on my team. And yeah, so those definitely stand out, and then Hawlucha under terrain is just stupid broken, so gotta have a plan for that. And yeah, I mean, Suicune's a fat thing that might be, problematic, but I think I have enough to help take it on, but we'll see how the game goes. So we will then get into the team, which I'm bringing my pretty usual Kangaskhan set. I know something will be Rocky Helmet, that's always how it seems to be, but if I do, have the opportunity to power up Punch, then this does become a huge threat. Return plus low kick hits everything because of low kick being able to hit the steel type in Steelix and the rock type in Tyrantrum, so that's just, I don't really need any other coverage than Sucker Punch for the Beedrill, since Beedrill is definitely an issue that I need to have everything I can do, and then I'm max speed to speed tie potentially with the Shaman, and the rest in bulk, because I like bulky Kangaskhan better than like attack invested, so I can take some hits. Then next up is Lantern with the Shuckaberry, Scald, Volt Switch, Rest, Sleep Talk, max defense, max special defense, Calm, and this is my main switch into Koko. Well, my only real switch into Koko, which I don't know if it'll be physical or special, but regardless of which it is, this should be able to at least keep it at bay. Not necessarily beat it, but make sure that I don't just straight up lose to it. So that's going to be helpful, and then also it should be able to help take on the potential Alolan Raichu, as well as it should help alleviate Suicune, since I can rest up on most Suicune sets and just Volt Switch out to the appropriate thing. And just in general, nothing really wants to switch into this other than the Shaman, but since I can Volt Switch out on it, it's just a solid pivot in general, and should just hopefully make sure again I don't lose to Electric Spam. Then next up is my Metagross with the Psychium Z, Meteor Mash, Zen Headbutt, Earthquake, Bullet Punch, max HP, max defense. This is, so I know it looks kind of weird with defensive Mon having the Z move, but my reasoning here is this is the only thing I'm bringing that can really take on Hawlucha. So this actually has to stay at, I think it has to be like maybe at 80%, something like that, just to make sure I can't die to a +2 high jump kick. So, I mean, technically speaking, I could switch it in once Hawlucha gets the Unburden boost and the Electric Seed. And with the Psychium Z, though, it is a guaranteed knockout on the Hawlucha as long as it's not, I think, like max HP, like max defense almost, or at least I would have to have significant defense investment on top of being max HP. So yeah, this guarantees knockout. If I don't have to use it on Hawlucha for whatever reason, then you know it's just a solid hit on something else that I'm having trouble breaking. But Meteor Mash, Zen Headbutt, Earthquake, you know, just covers the team at least neutrally. I mean, it's not going to do a whole lot of damage, honestly, but it can chip things down, and then Bullet Punch for the Mega Beedrill. And the way that I'm really preferring to kill, and most likely the only way I can really realistically take down the Beedrill without the priority, is right here, Kyurem with the Choice Scarf, enough speed to outspeed Mega Beedrill, Draco, Ice Beam, Earth Power, Signal Beam. The coverage covers the whole team. It can revenge kill most things, so this is probably my best option to basically just not get swept by Beedrill, as well as then just anytime something of mine gets knocked out, in all likelihood this can come in and just knock it out. So it'll be my ultimate revenge killer for sure. And then next up we have Salazzle with the Life Orb, Fire Blast, Sludge Wave, Dragon Pulse, Flame Charge, enough speed to outspeed the Alolan Persian, and this does outspeed most of the team, barring the Koko and Mega Beedrill, and then the Hawlucha, but I'm assuming that the Hawlucha is going to be under terrain most of the time, so I don't even know what speed stat Hawlucha is for base stat, but even if it's like faster or slower, it doesn't really matter. I don't need to speed creep it. And so the coverage of Fire, Poison, Dragon hits everything really, really well, and I wanted to boost to everything since Salazzle's kind of weak is what I've been noticing. Ignore the ESPN alert, as I of course forgot to silence my phone. Yeah, but this coverage should help me just hopefully break through things. Like the only thing that really should take hits well from this would be maybe the Suicune, but hopefully I can at least use this to chip it down, because I know that Suicune, I mean I have nothing that is going to OHKO it really, so my plan for Suicune is just chip it down, which I think I have a lot of ways to do that. And my most reliable way to take on Suicune is my Serena, which has the Power Whip, U-Turn, Rapid Spin, Synthesis. It is mostly specially defensive and has the Cobra Berry, so this can be, this is my main switch into Shaman if it's offensive, as I know I can't do a whole lot to it, but with it directly, however, I can always U-turn out into the appropriate thing, and with the Cobra Berry I can take on an Air Slash from it, or in another way, what it can do potentially is if Koko has a flying move such as Brave Bird and it's physical, I should be able to take one, so that's also in consideration. And at least if Hawlucha's in on me, I'm U-turning out no matter what, so hopefully, you know, not sub, but I don't want, you know, if I can avoid Hawlucha being in on this, that's obviously the preferred, but regardless, this basically is my switch into Shaman and Suicune, really, amongst the other things being maybe like another extra check for the if they're special attacking Koko, and then and Alolan Raichu. This would definitely also help a lot with those, just to make sure I don't get overwhelmed by the electric spam. But it'll be a tough matchup for sure, as this is a scary team, and I will be back with team preview. And we are back with team preview here as my opponent has decided to bring the Tapu Koko, the Suicune, the Shaman, Hawlucha, Mega Beedrill, and Diggersby. And so for the lead matchup, I'm definitely thinking that I want to lead off with Kyurem since it should outspeed everything barring Scarfed, Hawlucha, or Koko, which I don't really expect either to be that, and hoping to maybe catch the Beedrill on the lead because you might just, kind of mindlessly like U-turn since it's generally faster than everything. So I do call that correctly, and I'm just going to go for the Draco since that's the only thing that actually OHKOs this, because Ice Beam does not. So I do get that correct in that I am able to Draco, and he just loses the Mega Beedrill turn 1, so that's amazing. But now that does reveal that I'm Scarfed, so he can just go into Koko as I go into my Lantern. As he goes to Dazzling Gleam, does get the crit, so that's kind of unfortunate in that I should have been able to take, 3 Dazzling Gleams potentially, barring rolls, so I could have, rest, sleep, talk up kind of thing later, but now I can only really do that on Suicune, and so I go into my Kyurem on the Volt Switch to then scare out the Tapu Koko as I go for Ice Beam just in case he stays in, but obviously makes the correct play going into Suicune since it can take anything from me. And I switch into Serena, but he makes a nice double into Tapu Koko. But I don't think this Tapu Koko can do a whole lot to me since I've seen it to be special, so I think he's going to Volt Switch out, but instead he does reveal the Roost as I go for my U-turn, so I can go into my Mega Kangaskhan as the Electric Train wears off, and so I do go into it, and I'm going to go straight for the return as he does now Volt Switch, and now the Shaman comes in, showing to be very bulky, and Rocky Helmet, so it's, I'm assuming, like max defense, since it's got the Rocky Helmet for the Mega Kangaskhan. So this does allow me to just get into my Serena on the Leech Seed, and then I'm going to U-turn out thinking that he might switch out, but goes for the Synthesis, and since I know this is Rocky Helmet, I can just go straight into my Salazzle and throw off a powerful Sludge Wave, hoping that I can 2-hit KO Suicune from this range, but it's very bulky, so it's just more or less gauging damage here, and it does not 2-hit KO from that range, so I guess we'll have to switch out back into my Serena as he throws off the Scald. Luckily I don't get burned, but now I can just U-turn again, expecting the switch as he goes into the Hawlucha, and so I'm now able to go into my Metagross since this takes it on every time, even especially when it's not boosted. So then I'm going to double though into my Salazzle here, as he goes into Diggersby, and so I'm not sure what it's going to do, as he actually Agilities, which I assume Fire Blast maybe doesn't KO his spread or something, but really good play on his part, but I didn't want to risk Scarfed EQ just to come out, so really good play. Now I lose him on because I don't really have something that takes 2 hits from this, as it does reveal to be Life Orb. He goes for the return, so now I am going into my Kyurem. I have to Ice Beam. I don't have any other play. I don't know his speed stat. He could be faster, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't knock me out with 1 hit. So he does go into the Suicune, and now I'm forced out. And this time though, since my Serena's gone, I go into my Lantern as he goes for the rest, and so now I gotta do the process all over again of chipping it. But I'm gonna go for the rest myself here because I have the Shucca Berry, so I'm actually, if I get the Scald roll, that's amazing. Obviously that will do a lot of damage, if not kill the Diggersby. But unfortunately I do end up getting the Volt Switch, so that does nothing for me as I do live that Earthquake with the Shucca Berry. And he goes for Agility, so he's risking it yet again on my Sleep Talk after I've revealed it. But yet again, I do get the Volt Switch, so that is very unfortunate. Now Diggersby gets this kill. I can't do anything about it. And I do have to go into my Kyurem because it should be the only thing that takes this hit. Maybe the Metagross does, but if it's too weakened, then obviously Lucia wins. But now I'm really dwindling because my defensive mons are gone other than Metagross. So I do go for the Draco, expecting him to switch out into the Suicune, but that might have been a misplay on my part, as now Koko just comes in for free, and he can just Volt Switch as I don't have my electric resists or immunities anymore. So I sack my Kangaskhan as he goes into Shaman, so that allows me to go into my Salazzle, so I can just Sludge Wave and he lets me knock it out. And then in comes the Tapu Koko as I have to sack something yet again, and so I choose the Salazzle this time since it's only really going to help with Suicune, but at this point it's looking very bleak. I really don't have a way to break the Suicune anyway, even with the Salazzle there, other than just depending on rolls. So at this point I'm literally just going to do the only thing I can do, and that's fish for Meteor Mash attack raises, which I actually immediately get. So that's cool. However, since I am defensive, Z move is not going to kill this by any means, so I'm going to go for Zen Headbutt, try to get a bunch of damage off. So now he's at 70%, and I'm afraid to Zen Headbutt again, and obviously it's, Scald Burns, whatever, it's, if it happens, I lose automatically, when at this point, I'm already, for the most part, I lose. It's just banking off of, hey, I got the attack raise now, so I need to put it into hopefully range of a Shattered Psyche, and I think at this range this is my best opportunity to maybe put it into Bullet Punch range as well, even if it doesn't kill. Scald does not get the burn. I do go for the Z move here, but it doesn't do enough. I didn't get a good roll on that, and so Bullet Punch is not going to kill this at all, so he can just rest, and now I'm just back to fishing for some attack raises. So, I mean, this game's pretty much over. If he can get Scald, burn eventually, or just Scald, kill me, but yeah, this game's pretty much over. And we are going to end up losing this game, but I do get the attack raise. However, my Z move is already burned up, so Zen Headbutt's not going to do nearly enough. So this is, gets a Scald, gets a crit, doesn't matter at this point. 2 Scalds kill me anyway. And Zen Headbutt does 42 here, so it doesn't matter. You can just Scald, and then, yeah, I go into my Kyurem, and I go for Draco just in the hopes that I can kill this Suicune, but I unfortunately do not get a KO because he's going to make the smart play and go into Tapu Koko to keep this from becoming 2-0 and instead keeping it at 3-0. So we do lose, unfortunately. I think this matchup was very tough, so I didn't have maybe the greatest expectations going in, but I think I definitely could have played it better in that I definitely let my Lantern just get weakened way too early, and then obviously I had to rely on Sleep Talk rolls for trying to take out the Digger's Beat, which obviously didn't work out, so that was me just taking too much of a chance. And so, while I think it was maybe too risky on his part to even agility up on both my Salazzle and my Lantern, that was good plays on his part in the end, because I played maybe a little too safe at first in that I just threw in my defensive stuff and hoped for the best, and then if there's anything that could potentially be scarfed, I just immediately feared it, whereas he didn't in the first turn, which ended up netting me that kill on Mega Beedrill. So it's a fine line you have to really walk with scouting out potential scarfers. But yeah, we are now 2-4 with, I think it's now +2 differential, which I still think is I think all my losses are still lower differential than all my than my 2 wins, but at this point 2-4 is just not good enough. We need wins badly, and hopefully next week we can come back. Like it's been a while. I've been making some mispredictions, but I think that I can make the playoffs, and if I do, I think I can make a solid run. But that's gotta make it first, and that's if I'm playing like this, I'm not gonna make it, and I'm definitely not gonna be able to win in the playoffs. So hopefully we do better. But thank you for watching. Bye.